Hey folks, so I'm back, and as I mentioned before, I was going to go ahead and create my font while you were gone. So I've sized everything correctly, and I've put everything in here. I have 74 out of 75 glyphs. I forgot to make an ampersand, so I'm just going to move forward without it, which is fine. This was based on an old student's font anyway. Now, I'd like to point out one thing. When you're working in Illustrator, you can only open up the PDF in one window, which means if I try to open the PDF after it's been opened, it's just not going to work. So you want to make sure that after you fill your page, we go ahead and say File and Save As. You just give it another name. So I just called mine, template, and I put a dash and I put a 1. Okay? When you save it, I'll just replace what I have. You have the option to preserve Illustrator editing capabilities, and I recommend that. You're going to create a little bit larger PDF file, but it's going to help you out. So we'll save our PDFs, and then over here I've got lowercase l through z. These are all set. I will mention that my descenders are pretty low, so I'm just pointing those out. They may or may not give me a problem. We'll find out. So after I have my files, I'm going to jump over here to the internet, hide everything else, and I'm going to go to the calligraphr website. Now I'm already signed in, so I only have to go to this thing that says Start App. So in the app, we've already created a template. We've already gone ahead and done a bunch of stuff, and it tells us on the font page, choose Upload Template. So I'll go to My Fonts, and I'm going to click Upload Template, and it wants me to find my templates. So I'm going to choose my files, and here's my template 1, and another one, template 2. I'm going to choose both of those, and I'm going to say Upload Template. And it is going to go ahead and process, and it takes a couple of minutes depending on your connection. And what this is doing, guys, is this is taking your font, and this is digitizing it on the calligraphr website. Now you may say, didn't we do that already? And the quick answer is yes, we did. But I will point out that you can do this just by doing handwriting too, if you don't go through the whole digitizing method. It's just not as clean. So this looks really good. Really, really good, actually. This is a great little software that's totally free. But I'm noticing that there's a problem here with my G and my J and my Y. My P seems okay. My Q gets cut off too. So I can go ahead and I can say add characters to my font, and then I can double click on any of these letters, or actually single click on any of these letters, and I can go ahead and edit it. And I can play around with different things like the zoom level, make it bigger or smaller, so I can see what I'm doing a little bit more. I can add or erase. So check this out. I can pick a brush here, and if I wanted to, I can add a little bit more stuff there. I don't really recommend doing this just because you've got really sophisticated software with Illustrator and Photoshop. Do that stuff there. So I'm going to cancel this. I don't need to do that. But there was a problem with the lowercase g. Okay, let's edit this character. Now, I think where our real problem is adjusting the baseline and the size of it, right? So let's go ahead and move the baseline up a little bit. And check this out, gang. As I do this, that loop at the bottom of my descender is just been cut off. So when it digitized, it cut this off no matter what. So this is just going to be a problem. So I'm going to close this, and I'm going to go back to my font, and I'm going to hit these little dots right here. I'm just going to say delete font, because if you recall, you can only upload one font at a time. And then I'm going to return to Illustrator, and I'm going to go ahead and take my Q and my Y, and I'm just going to tap my keyboard. I'm going to tap the up arrow on my keyboard 1, 2, 3, about 4 times. And I'll say File and Save to that. And then I'm going to come over here to my other template, and where did I have a problem? Let's see. J and G, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Save file, save. And I'm going to tell you what, it's a little bit of back and forth, right? Trial and error. So now I'm going to jump back here to the calligraphr website, upload my template, and see if that's going to work. And I'm glad that that happened to me, because that sort of stuff is real, and that's going to happen. So now let's upload our template and see what goes on from there. And again, it takes a moment or two to process because it's digitizing the whole thing. Even though we already did it, it's doing it again. All right, so how's this look? Ooh, look, Q, we get our loop. Y, we have a loop. J, we have a loop. G, we have a loop. I never addressed P, did I? All right, then I'm going to hit cancel one last time. Jump back over here to Illustrator and just address P as well. What did I count? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Save that. We want a consistency. That's why. So we'll upload our template, choose these things, and upload them again. Allow it to process. And then we're going to be able to go in and we're going to be able to tweak those letters a little bit more here inside the calligraphr website. Now, I find that this website works really good with Chrome. I haven't run into any problems with the newest version of Safari. I did run into problems with Firefox, though, in that the API that this website uses just did not like that. So P looks good, Q looks good, Y looks good, J, G, they all look good. All the descenders look really good. Okay, cool. And it doesn't look like any of the caps or the ascenders got cut off. Not at all. This looks really good. So I'm going to hit add characters to your font. And then the thing with these is that they're going to look a little funny. And what I mean by that, so I'm going to click on G. And I'm going to say adjust baseline size. And do you see how G is going to ride above the baseline? So I want to bring it down so it's on the baseline, but look what happens. When I do that, it cuts that off. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to adjust the size of the G just a little bit. And when we adjust the sizes, we adjust them in 5s. Okay, so I'm going to bring that down. I'm going to bring the down baseline 5%, and I'm going to bring the size down 5% too. And then I'm also going to go ahead and I'm going to look for the other ones here. Here's the J. The J is pretty big, so I'm going to actually bring that down 10%, I think, and baseline down 5%. Okay. P. That looks good. Q. Adjust the size to 90%. Bring that down there. That looks fabulous. All right. Y. That looks big too. So cool. That's all right. What if I bring it down to 90? Yeah, I think that could work out. So I'm thinking that this looks really good. So I'm going to say save adjustments to my letters. And I'm going to say back to my font. And I'm going to take a look at everything. And I think I might go back to this G one more time and say adjust baseline size. What if I make it just a little smaller? And it's tough to tell because it's not around its regular letter forms. So let's see if we can find it in its native spot here. G. Yeah, it's 90%. You know what? It doesn't look that bad. I think we're going to keep it there, no problem whatsoever. So we'll save that adjustment and go back to my font. All right, so we're almost there, okay? We have to click this button here that says Build Font, and you have to give it a name. And, font names are important. Helvetica, that means the Swiss for the Swiss typeface. And Comic Sans means, childish crap. And Papyrus is that really bad font they used in Avatar. But no, a name is important. And so I don't want to just call it Nick's font or Student's font or anything like that. So let's take a quick look and see what our designer called this font when they made it? Let's see here. They called it tilde. Okay, so check this out. I'm going to write in here tilde, and I'm going to say build. And actually, I'm going to say, since this is a new version of tilde, it's something that I've edited a little bit, I'm going to call it tilde 2.0 and say build. And just so you know, I know the student very well. They will not have a problem with me doing this. And what we get here, guys, is we get a preview. So let's increase it. Nor did such soothing scenes, however temporary, fail of at least as temporary an effect on Ahab. Look at this. This is awesome. This looks great. Now, this used to be a website called My Script Font, and Calligraphr replaced that last year. And I'll tell you what, this is so much better than that old software. So if you ever use My Script Font, this is just way better. And check it out. Here are our font files. We have a TrueType font, and we have an OpenType font. So guess what? I'm going to grab them both. So I'm just going to click on the TrueType. It's going to download. I'm going to click on the OpenType, and it's going to download. And let's find them. Here they are right here. So I'm going to double click on that and install my TrueType. And I'm going to come on here and double click on this and install my OpenType. And now let's come back to Illustrator. Let's make a new document. And let's see what happens. And this is going to be the thing that really, makes it all worth it. So let's take our type tool, click, and just type. This makes it all worth it. Exclamation point. Let's go ahead and make it bigger. Now, I hope it's in there. If it's not, I just got to restart Illustrator, but I hope it's in there. And here it is. This makes it all worth it. Check that out, gang. It's a font. It's your font. Well, in this case, it's an old student of mine's font, but this is a font. And it's awesome because, right, check it out. I click on it and it says Lorem Ipsum right there. And I can make it bigger. And you can go ahead and you can write anything. And this is a file, right? And you can take your font file, this thing right here, and you can bring it wherever you want, and you can give it to anyone you want. You can give it to your friends. You can upload it to places like thefont.com. Here, check this out. Let's go online again. Let's go to the font. And let's see, submit a font. And you have to create an account, and it's completely free. And you can go ahead and you can put a font up there, and you can toss it up there, and the whole world can use it. And you can go ahead and you could give it away for free, or you could put a license on it and say that if you're going to use it professionally, it's going to cost $5. It's completely and utterly up to you. And this is the best part. This cost you absolutely nothing to make. Just a little bit of time. And I guarantee you, after you make your first one, you're going to make a second one. And after you make that, you're going to make a third one. Because here's the thing. I love fonts, for sure, right? But sometimes Helvetica doesn't cut it. And sometimes Times New Roman doesn't cut it. And sometimes I just need to go ahead and write something out. And, when I'm going ahead and I'm doing that hand lettered type and I'm adding that to design, I'm 100% making that work for me. But sometimes I find that I'm using it over and over and over again, and I'm using the same style over and over and over again. Why not make a font? Because again, check out what I can do. I can do anything. I can take this font, and just like we played around earlier in the semester, I can go into things like my appearance panel. And let's go ahead and add a stroke. Okay, so let's add a red stroke. And ooh, that looks awful, right? We know it looks awful because it's eating the font. This is a thin font, right? anyway, so let's put it behind it. And that's what that looks like. Let's add another stroke. Why not? Okay. Let's make it white. Put that in there. Look at that, guys. Okay. So that thing we learned earlier, we can do that with this. Check this out. Let's select this, and let's hold down the Option key and the right arrow. Tracking. Left arrow. Tracking. Okay. It looks to me like there's little space issues here between the T and the H. Okay. Kerning. Push that out a little bit. Push this in a little bit. Okay. We have opportunities here. I can select this, and I can go into things like my warp. And if I want, I can go ahead and let's make an arch. And there we go. Or if we don't like an arch, let's make a flag. Or my favorite, rise. Okay. And we can do all the stuff that we've been playing around with throughout the semester, right? And all the stuff that you kind of knew before when you walked in, you can do this sort of stuff. You can do anything with this. Because you know why? It's your font. And it's totally custom. So this, guys, is how you go ahead and you create a custom font that is your own. And there was maybe an hour of video? And you can probably do this in a total of probably 12 hours, maybe even less, depending on how fast you do your sketches. But this is a tried and true method that will work every single time. If this works out for you and you like this, I suggest looking into maybe some other ways to build fonts that aren't free but are, more professional. There's different softwares out there like Fontographer. Glyphs is a very new popular software. And this may be something, that you never thought you would be able to do for a living that you absolutely and actually can. So get out there, make that font, and give it a name, and then start playing around with it. Give it to your friends. Get it out there. Let other people use it and enjoy the hell out of it. Okay? Yeah, have fun with this, and definitely make more than one. All right, that's all I got for this. Thank you very much.